Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I want to talk about Scott Turner and why he, I believe, is one of the main reasons the Washington Commanders lost yesterday against the New York Giants, and why I don't think he should be here next year. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. Also hit that like button and turn on that notification bell. Super close to 10,000 subscribers. Trying to hit that by the end of the year, so please help me get there. Man, does it feel bad to wake up on Monday after a loss. And yesterday's loss, that was a tough one. I mean, it was a game where if the Commanders won, they would have had a 91% chance of making the playoffs. Now I believe it's like 38%. It was a bad loss. And there's a lot of reasons for it. The refs were bad. Like, we can't deny that. The refs were terrible. Terry McLaurin, we've been over it. He checked with the ref. He said the ref said that he was good on the second check. I'm not going to, Terry McLaurin, I trust Terry McLaurin. I don't think he's lying. And so that was a missed call. Or no, that was a call that shouldn't have been made, that was made. And then they obviously missed the, clear, blatant pass interference from, Darnay Holmes on Curtis Samuel. It was obvious that was pass interference. They didn't call it. Thing is, though, if that happens, we still got to, we still got to score, which probably happens. But then got to score the 2-point conversion, stop them, because there's still going to be a minute left. Don't let them score a touchdown before, or not a touchdown, a field goal before, the end of regulation. And you have to make the two. I think I forgot to say that, and then also win in overtime. So a lot of things still had to happen, but refs weren't great. But there's other guys that I think deserve the same blame or more. And, Ron Rivera does talk about that yesterday. Punting it on the 34 is just unexcusable. Charles Leno did not have a good game. He just didn't. He just got beat like a drum by Kayvon Thibodeau. Heineke can't have those fumbles, man. 2 fumbles. Should have had it. It was a clear interception, or, easy interception for the cornerback to make. He drops it. But Scott Turner, I believe, deserves a lot of the blame, okay? Because some of the things that he was doing was working, and he just got away from it, or, he just didn't do it much, and that really upset me. And one of those things is Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson had an amazing game. 12 carries, 89 yards, 7.4 yards per carry, guys. 7.4 yards per carry for Brian Robinson, and he only had 12 carries, but still got almost 90 yards, and some of them were, well blocked, and Brian Robinson got a few extra yards himself. But there were a few where, the expected yards were probably 0, maybe 1 yard, and Brian Robinson gets 3, 4, 5, 6+ yards because he was great yesterday. Not only were some of the holes great, but he did a really good job running the football. They averaged, as a team, 6.1 yards per carry. If you take out Curtis Samuel, it's probably so much more because it's 21 for 158. Curtis Samuel, and I'm not blaming Curtis Samuel because a lot of those runs, either Logan Thomas missed a clear block, terrible by him again, or, there wasn't much to get there, maybe a yard or two. And he got maybe, either back to the line of scrimmage or maybe a yard. Maybe he could have done a little bit better than he did, but he wasn't, he wasn't put in the position to succeed there to get 5, 6, 7 yards. And the play that really upset me, it is, well, actually one play before that I want to, I think I'm going to forget about. 2nd and 3, I think Brian Robinson or someone had a 7-yard run the play before, and you do a flea flicker, and, De'Ami Brown was maybe open, but you got to, realize that's a hard throw for Heineke to make under pressure, and why not just run the ball again on 2nd and 3? Because 2nd and 3, with the way we were playing, if you run the ball 2 times, guaranteed with Brian Robinson or even Gibson, guaranteed to get a first down. With the way we were playing, I strongly believe that. And he does the flea flicker, and I don't think we got a first down on that that series, and that's on Scott Turner. That's on Scott Turner for not doing what was working. The play that really upset me is we have a big play by Jahan Dotson, 60-yard catch, something like that. And I think the next play, Brian Robinson had a nice run. We're at the 11-yard line or whatever, and it's 1st and 10. Keep in mind, at this point, Brian Robinson had 12 carries for 89 yards. He was averaging 7.4 yards per carry. And at this time, Curtis Samuel had 4 carries in the game for 0 yards. What do they decide to do? It seems obvious. You give it to the guy that's averaging 7.5 yards a carry. Well, they give it to Curtis Samuel on something that really nothing was there. Nothing was there for him to get. He got 1 yard. And then after that, on 2nd down, they're forced to pass because it's 2nd and 9. But they still probably could have ran it. But 2nd and 9, they throw a short, maybe 5-yard completion to Terry McLaurin, and it sets up a 3rd and 4 where they're forced to pass again. Even though, really, with the way they were running, I wouldn't have minded a run there. They wouldn't have expected it either. But still, they pass. Heineke drops back, fumbles, bad fumble by him. But I think it would have been avoidable. I don't even think they would have gotten to 3rd down if they would have ran it with Brian Robinson on 1st and 2nd down if they needed to. They didn't do it. They ran with Curtis Samuel, who had 5 carries for 1 yard on the day. Just it doesn't make sense. The guy it was working 100%. Brian Robinson, it was working every carry. I don't know if there was any carries with negative yards, and if there were, it wasn't his fault. Give him the ball. It's not that hard. In that game, it was clear Brian Robinson was playing well, and you should have given the ball more, and they didn't. I want to see the stat. I think we only had a few carries for Gibson and Robinson in the second half, and that's not something you want when your guy's averaging 7.4 yards a carry. So Brian Robinson got 4 carries in the second half of the game. Gibson had 1 second half carry, so 5 carries in the second half. It's just, yeah. I mean, and honestly, the pass game was working at times. It was working in the second half, but I don't need to have 2 second half carries for Samuel. Give those to Robinson and give a few other carries to Robinson. Honestly, Logan Thomas is cooked. He's not the same. I don't need to see a 4-yard pass to Logan Thomas. There's no upside in it because, okay, best case scenario, Logan Thomas open in the flat, gets 4 yards, maybe a couple yards after the catch. There's no real potential there. And he honestly, the pass from Heineke wasn't great. Logan Thomas still should have made that catch. And it just, I don't know. It makes Logan Thomas, there's no upside there. If you throw it to Curtis, Jahan, or Terry, there's yards after catch potential there. With Logan and Bates, there really isn't much. So if you need a security blanket, that's fine. But I'd rather have those design plays for Terry, Jahan, and Curtis instead of giving targets to Bates and Logan Thomas. I just want to see how many targets those guys had. So Logan had 3 and Bates didn't have much. So it's not crazy amount, but I would like to see these 3 targets to Terry and maybe even Curtis and Jahan. I like how they used Jahan. He had a great game, 4 catches, 105, and a touchdown. McLaurin had a good day. And again, McLaurin, I don't think he got targeted once in the first half. It might have been only one time. That's not acceptable. And then all of his targets basically came on one drive, and it worked. We marched down the field with Terry on that drive. He was getting catch after catch, screenplay, whatever. It was working with Terry, and they went away from it later, and they went more towards Jahan, which is fine. But I still think they should have given Terry the ball a little bit more. 6 targets, maybe not enough. And yeah, Curtis Samuel definitely should not have 5 runs. And with Curtis Samuel, I don't know, the runs up the middle, it just doesn't work that much. I mean, at times it has worked this year, but more on those motion end arounds where, it's blocked properly when Logan Thomas can actually make a block. Honestly, I want Logan Thomas gone after this year. He's not adding anything really to this team. Bates is a better blocker than him. And honestly, at this point, they're probably similar in terms of their pass catching abilities, which is sad for Logan Thomas. But you can move on from him, save some money, and you'll be fine, honestly, and just go for someone else at the tight end position. That's what I would do. But yeah, this game, it's Scott Turner's fault. You can't go away from Brian Robinson. The way he was playing, you just can't. And you go to Curtis Samuel, who it wasn't working all day. And he just tries to get cute sometimes, and it just doesn't work. And I can't believe I defended this man last year and really this year after the first 2 games, I really didn't like anything that Scott Turner did. And I kind of already gave up on Scott Turner a while, but this is like when I'm like, okay, we need to get rid of him now, or definitely by the end of the year. There's no reason why Scott Turner should be our offensive coordinator in 2023, even though he has a contract extension. Please get rid of him. I mean, this offense is too talented. I don't care who the quarterback is. This offense is too talented to score 12 points in a game. It just is. So whatever you have to do, just move on from Scott Turner. He's not that guy. He just is not that guy. And bring in someone else, promote someone. I don't care. Just someone besides Scott Turner, because I think, even though it was only a few plays. Oh, one thing I forgot to totally talk about is the empty sets. Like, our offensive line was not playing well. Our O-line was getting dominated by their D-line. And we kept on doing these empty sets. And it's like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're just setting yourself up to get pressure. Like, you got to at least have a running back there to help you out. Or, a tight end to chip. I like when they have a running back in the backfield just to help block a little bit, or run a short route underneath or in the flat. Like, that's what I want to do. Don't do these empty sets where a lot of the big sacks they had, I mean, I'm going to go back and look at it, but I believe they were empty sets. So that's another thing they got to work on. Scott Turner just has to change. I don't like it. And Scott Turner probably has one of his worst games, and some just baffling decisions when it was like obvious. You have a guy who's playing well, keep feeding him the rock. It was working, especially, it was working. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Probably will have another video out this week talking about the playoff outlook and maybe a Chase Young video. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.